Guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded a video, but that was due to Hurricane Ida, because unfortunately I live in southern Louisiana, and we got hit pretty hard by the hurricane, so we had to evacuate for a few weeks. And I just got back maybe like less than a week ago, and we still had no power, no lights, no internet. Still trying to work on the internet portion, but I wanted to go ahead and start filming more videos for you guys. So I actually decided to do a new series for you guys, and it's going to be Not Your Typical Nurse. That'll be the title of the series. And for this series, I'll just go ahead and list the types of nurses that you can be. I'll probably do like the career outlook, which basically breaks down the salary, the education that you'll need, what do they do, where they're typically found, and things like that. I'll try and post one every Sunday for you guys, along with my Wednesday videos, so be looking out for that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and kick this episode 1 off with a CNA. And if you see me looking down, I jotted down some notes, so that's what I'm referring to when I look down. So the first thing, of course, is a CNA, and this is a certified nurse assistant. Some called PCTs too. There's a variety of names for them, but from where I'm from, we refer to them as CNAs. Now this is basically an entry-level job, and everything that I'm gonna say about a CNA is not to discredit them, because they are very, very important, especially as nurses. When I've gone into clinicals, I've seen the PCTs, as they're referred to in the certain hospital that I was working at. They were really vital and important. They helped the nurse take care of the patient, and I'll go ahead and list some of their duties and things like that. But CNAs kind of get a bad rep, and they kind of, I've heard many people say, I don't want to be in CNA because all they do is wipe butts and change beds, and really that's not all they do. They're a really big help to the actual nurse. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue and give you a little bit more information about it. So usually some people become CNAs because they are interested in the medical field, and this is kind of like I said, it's an entry-level position, so there's not an extensive amount of education or the program that you have to take to be a certified nurse assistant. So people usually take this job in order to see if they like working in the medical field, and in that type of setting. Do you like being with a patient? Do you like taking care of people? Do you like being helpful? Like, is your personality a fit for this certain job? This gives you a step in to the medical field, and anything that you want to do thereafter, whether that's nurse, whether that's becoming a doctor, whether that's being any kind of tech, like radiologist tech. So this position, you can gain a lot of experience, a lot of hands-on experience, because you're around and you're working with nurses and doctors to help take care of that patient while they are at the hospital. You're trying to make them as comfortable as possible, and trying to keep the environment and the patient as clean as possible, so that there are no further complications to why that patient is there. Again, it's a great way to see if you're fit for the medical field without going through 2, 4, 8 years and deciding that it's not for you. Because once you get into the medical field, that's 4 years, not including your residency, and it's a lot of money to try and pay back if you have not completed medical school. I know I've seen a video where somebody got 2 years into the medical school and they figured out that it wasn't for them, but they were in almost $100,000 of debt. Not to say all of this to scare you, but this is a great position to determine if the next step is for you or not. You may hear my air conditioner running. It's a little hot right now, so I'm just going to keep it running. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Alright, so what do? They help turn and move patients. They bathe patients. They groom patients, like take care of their hair, take care of their teeth, making sure with the turning of the patients, they're actually turning patients to prevent bed sores. So sometimes when a patient is on bed rest or cannot move, like say that they were wheelchair bound or anything like that before they came in, or they just had surgery or anything like that, they want to turn the patient every 2 to 4 hours, depending on what the doctor specifies, just so the patient won't develop any bed sores or anything like that. And sometimes with the nurses, I've been to clinicals and I've only had one patient for 12 hours, but I can understand how that CNAs are really, really needed, because nurses usually have about 4 or 5 patients, depending on the setting that you're in and depending on the hospital policies that you're working at. And it's hard to pass out medications to 5-6 different people within a 2-hour span. Chart on those patients, check on those patients, get them things that they need, like if they need water or this or that, and also to be with 2 or 3 patients every 2 hours to rotate those patients and things like that. Nursing is a very fast-paced job, especially if things don't go as planned. But even then, you're constantly on your feet checking on your patients to make sure that any changes you see in your patients are documented and taken care of so that they don't worsen. So CNAs also help with feeding patients. Some of them can document the intake and output of the patient as far as fluids and food. Again, that depends on your hospital and their policies. They can take vital signs. I know that when we were at clinicals, the nursing students, we took our own vital signs for the patient that we had, but primarily the PCTs or CNAs were the ones taking the vital signs, as well as the blood sugar. We weren't taught to take the blood sugar, even though I'm aware of how to do it because I've done it on myself before. We didn't do it in the clinical setting, just because they have to be done at a certain time in order for those patients to receive medications, especially if some of them were diabetic and they had to receive insulin. Those blood sugar sticks had to be done at a certain time so that we could monitor and see where their blood sugar was and what kind of insulin to give them and how much also. They do clean the rooms and the beds. This is usually done as they're bathing the patient. I was able to sit in on a PCT cleaning and bathing a patient. She showed me how to do it so that I would be able to do it in future reference. So what she would do is she would clean the patient, and she would clean the half of their body on the front. Then she would clean half of their body on the left, and she would kind of keep whatever side she wasn't using. She would keep that covered, kind of to keep privacy and to protect the patient modesty. So then she would put on a new gown on the front, and then she would roll the patient over and clean like the right side of the back, and she would take the covers and kind of roll and tuck underneath the patient. Then she would put on new sheets on that side of the patient. Then we would come over to the left side, roll them onto the clean sheets. We would grab the sheets from underneath them and kind of roll those out from underneath them. Bathe the patient on the left the left side or whatever side they haven't finished, and then they will roll the clean sheets on underneath. So they kind of did everything at once. And of course the nurse and the PCT would kind of keep the area clean, the room clean. The PCTs would change they would keep the bathrooms clean, change the trash, make sure that they had proper materials in the room. They would stock the room with anything that the patient needed, whether that was extra blankets or soap or lotion for the patient after they bathed them. Now some PCTs and CNAs can assist with some procedures. I'm not aware of all of the procedures that they can assist with, but again, that depends on your hospital and their policies, because CNAs go through less education than a nurse would or an LPN would. They some policies exclude them from certain procedures. They do transport patients. I went with a PCT to transport a patient to dialysis. So, but again, all of these roles and responsibilities just depends on the hospital policies that you're at. The hospital that you're at and their policies. Sorry, got a little tongue tied. So yeah, the exact role depends on the location. So where can you find or where can you work as a PCT or CNA? So you can obviously work in the hospital. Some hospitals have less jobs for CNAs than others. You can work in a long-term care facility. You can do nursing home or adult daycare. Those are the most common that I know of. And also a rehab center. So education. So typically CNAs and PCTs go through a 4 to 12 week program. Now again, that depends on what program that you're going to. I've seen some as little as 4 weeks, some as 6 weeks, some 8, some 12. There's a range of weeks for the program and length. So it just depends on what program you choose, and of course they'll state that before you apply to it. Just search 4-week CNA program, 12-week CNA program, and a variety of things will show up in your area. Now again, I said this was an entry-level position, not a lot of education to get this position, and that's not to say that CNAs and PCTs are not amazing and are not pretty much the backbone of the hospital, just like nurses are. It's just that they do a little less than nurses do, so they don't have as much education requirements as nurses. Now this may be hands-on or in-person clinicals. I myself haven't gone through a CNA program. I had the opportunity to in high school, but I chose to go a different route. I don't want it to be in the medical field, but I wasn't sure which sector I wanted to go into the medical field. I wanted to be a doctor, but I also knew that that was a lengthier program, and I was not that fond of school to be in school for 8 more years after high school. Now, there is an exam that you have to take to be a certified nurse assistant. This exam will be after the program, and there's 2 parts that I've seen, the written and oral part. I'll leave all of it, the information and the website that I got all this information down below so that y'all can check it out and see where I got my information. Now the salary, I've seen typically about $13 to maybe about $15. It depends on location, because of course, like, places in states with a higher living cost will probably pay you more, but I've seen about $13 to $15, which is about an average of maybe like $28,000 a year. Again, that depends on location, but I've seen a YouTuber who is a PCT, and it looks like they also work 12-hour shifts, just like nurses do. And from my experience with PCTs, I was on one floor, the oncology floor, the 8th floor, and there were two PCTs, and one took one side of the hall and one took another side of the hall. So they had their work cut out for them, and they had a lot of patients to take care of. So PCTs work with nurses. It's a shared role to take care of the patients. I've heard some nurses say that they don't want to bathe patients, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, let the PCT do it. But here's the thing. In my nursing school, I believe after the first semester, after you pass the first semester, you can take the CNA licensing exam and become a CNA. But here's the thing. You as a nurse are taught to do everything the PCT is taught to do also, so that if that person is busy, you're required to do it on that patient. This is your patient at the end of the day. So if the PCT doesn't do it, you are still required to do that for your patient. So the PCT, CNA is there to assist you and help you, but at the end of the day, it's your patient, it's your responsibility that things get done and that the patient is comfortable, clean, and in the best possible state that they can be in at the hospital to prevent any further complications. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you right now. So I'll start again posting on Sundays and giving you a little information about different types of nursing jobs and nursing careers, just so that you get an idea that once you finish nursing school, it's not just, oh, I have to go to med surg, or I don't know where else to go. There is a lot of opportunities in the nursing field, and I just want to put that out there for you guys, because I don't see a lot of videos that tell you all of the types of nurses that you can be. I've seen videos that say like top 10 paying nurses and things like that, but those also require an extensive education even after you graduate with your RN, some even after you graduate with your BSN. And I want you to get a wide variety of the different types of nursing that you can be, even with an associate or a bachelor's degree. So anyway, be looking out for my next video next week. Again, I'll be posting Wednesday and Sunday. Sunday will just be for the nursing series. So I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Share the video, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell so that you're notified each time I post, so that you won't miss out. Anyway, bye guys.